I hear a survivor if I can find him. I don't think I can get back in. No. Where would he be? Come on. Come on. What I'm actually afraid is I'd love to do like everything in this in one run. I'm afraid because it's a demo that you're meant to play it like a couple times to really find everything, because they don't need to give you the same kind of direction that they do for other stuff. This is cool. I like this. I like when they reuse resources. I recently played Katamari. Oh, do I have to... Let me guess, do I have to like carry this all the way back? Is that what it's getting at? Yeah. You know, I recently played Katamari, where you play this little alien guy with this ball that you roll around, and you start out like the size of like a paperclip or something, and everything that's smaller than your ball, when you roll it, you pick it up, and you get bigger and bigger, and you start picking up like, I don't know, like crumbs to toy cars to tables to people to houses to continents. It's a lot of fun. But what was kind of cool about playing that is they would just do fun stuff with the items in the game. Okay, I hear you. Is he in the casino? I'm gonna come back for him. Like they would try like build like just there's a queen. They'd build like cool little structures out of just like silly items like that fountain out of tires. You know, Dead Rising always struck me as a game that never really reached its own potential. I talked about in 2, like and even in 1, there's so many things that could be such a bigger deal, but they just aren't because of just the way they're implemented. Like one thing I was kind of curious to try out if they're in this game is I don't know what you call them, the looter vendors, where it's like a vending machine except it's been hacked so that you can buy weapons from it. And it's, I don't know how, or like how they intended you to use them in 2, but they were just like way too expensive for what they were. It's like, here's $1,000, like here's a handgun. It's like, thanks, but there's a sniper rifle that spawns next to this machine, so what was the point? So I don't know. I was hoping that might be a thing here because I could see that being nice. Or like they don't even put them in like somewhere convenient, like by the safe room so you can grab one if you have to. It's always like in some back alley. It's like, why? I've passed so many great things on the way here. It just seems so like this idea was not fully realized. Like I would pay a good price in Dead Rising 2 if it was actually for like a really great weapon, you know? Like if it's like, oh yeah, this is $10,000, but you'll give you like the boxing knife gloves that are really useful for psychopaths. That would be great. Instead, it's like, oh, handgun, whoa. I don't even pick these up when I find them for free. That or maybe if they were used like a little bit more deliberately, like, oh, they're outside a psychopath fight. So worst case scenario, you know you'll at least have a gun for it. But they don't do that. It just seemed like, I don't know, like it was someone, like they added that idea early on in this, like the design document, and then at the very end, like, oh shoot, we forgot to implement this. Quick, let's throw it in. Or it maybe just didn't get updated from a really early build. I don't know. So I'm guessing he's in this casino, and I think that's probably going to introduce some gambling stuff, so I want to try that out. Oh, there he is. How do I get up to you? Perfect. One thing just based off the very little stuff I've seen about Dead Rising 4, it seems that because they're a little bit, like they no longer have a hit counter. No, they no longer have a zombie kill counter. Rather, they have like a combo counter, like how many hits you've done. I like the idea that it's more about fighting through the zombies, whereas here you'll notice I just ignore the majority of them. Give me your gun. I like this setup. So is there like some kind of clue I was supposed to know from this? See, I think he's referencing the couple I just saw in that area. Can you not? So I need to find this bar. Should hopefully be around here. Yeah, that's some gambling machines. I don't know how important money's gonna be, honestly. I definitely need to buy that part from him, so I'm gonna grind up to at least 2,500, which I did just by saying this. Really? I'd be very interested to try and speedrun this. If this game moves a little bit differently than... Come on. Dead Rising 2 does. I wonder if I can just beat this game. Because I instantly like stuff like this with Money Matters or is like really limited. I'm tempted to do stuff like there's that hacker. I know what it's called. It's like you get a flashlight and like a battery or something. Stun baton maybe. And you can use it on vending ATMs to get extra cash. So it'd be kind of cool to see a speedrun where you get like all like the best items in one little go. It's another thing that Dead Rising I felt kind of lacked on. Oh duh, I have a map. I should just kind of... Oh, hello. So there's a bar. This really isn't that big. Why is this drawn on? Is that underground or something? Or I could propose? Okay. Apartment store. I guess there's not so many stores where you'd have trouble finding stuff. Sheriff's office should go there. Pawnshop, bowling alley. Am I missing this bar? It must be this. That or it was in the bowling alley. Huh. Hello. I really like doing these like first impressions of games because it's just like kind of neat to... I like the idea of like breaking down the psychology of it. Like, okay, like they're clearly trying to send this message from this and what have you. I don't have a kick, so I can't break these goddamn windows. Serious? Serious? I feel cheated. Oh, can I change? For some reason, I didn't think they were going to have that in this, but I guess it would make sense. It seems like it's kind of gone by the wayside, that you don't see a lot of the crazier, like, dressing up things. Let's see. Pain. Okay, I don't think you can cook in Dead Rising 2 like you can in 1. So, we got nothing here. We got a restroom. This bugs me. I better find some more new clothes, because I don't want to keep running around like this. I'm gonna hit up this bowling alley. That's probably the best bet. Unless I can get a queen. Awesome. Ooh, that's neat. I think this demo is easier because normally, anytime you get grabbed by a zombie, I thought it essentially was always going to take away like 1 block of health unless you are on point about getting them off. Which I rarely am. Also, it seems all these buildings are super safe. Like, they all have doors that zombies can't get through. Please tell me there's pins. I'm guessing this must be an achievement. Let's see what I want. This has got to be an achievement, like roll a strike or something. Something to kind of introduce you to the silliness of Dead Rising. Surprised they didn't make this into like one of those mini games they sometimes do. Okay. Let's do this. Oh god, I'm way over the line. Fuck it. Huh. I like when they leave stuff like this. One thing that I think Dead Rising could do more of is silly stuff like this, but stuff that's not as, like, scripted, I guess. Like, this is obviously set up for you to have fun, but once you do this, it's like, okay, well, that's it. It's not as, I don't know. How do you put it? Like, you can't just roll around and see cool stuff as much as you can in something like a Grand Theft Auto. For Dead Rising, it's really kind of a little bit more baked in, and I don't particularly care for that. There's something in this cooking pot. Nope. Hopefully I can find a handgun in one of these. Nope. Thank God. Sweet. I like how they went to the trouble to make sure it was the right colors for Chuck. Oh, hell yes. I actually spent a good amount of time in Dead Rising 1 being like, picking out my preferred outfit. Because I just thought, it's part of the game, it's fun. It gave me a reason to play it and run around and do stuff. Okay, so let me find this bar. So I guess maybe these are buildings I can go in that are just not named. Or do I have a... Oh, wow. Personally, for me, with Dead Rising, I always wish the series went to be a little more, like, survival-y. Like, I was a huge fan of Infinity Mode in 1. And I kind of want to, like... I was sad that that didn't make a return in 2. But it was also never really fully realized, I thought. Like, I like the idea of hunger. I thought that would fit Dead Rising really well. Because then you need to, like... I think it needs more restrictions on what you can carry. Like, I like the fact that in Dead Rising 4, you have, like, certain slots to fill out. So you're not just like, oh, well, I'm going to carry one, like, the Mega Buster, which is with 300 uses, and then just 11 orange juices that fully heal me. This song is like what every Mexican restaurant plays. So weirdly generic. God, I should have gone. Oh. Nice. Oh, is he going to start throwing up? I could see them doing that to demonstrate that Chuck's like that, and demonstrate those mechanics. Then also to make him, like, really annoying to escort. That's the way I see this going. Yep. Cool. What else we got here? Plates are actually really good. Not the... There you go. Maybe not at a low level, but plates are just amazing in Dead Rising 1. Where you get these throw bonuses, so they can be a one-shot kill on zombies. She did not care for that. I need a weapon. Huh. I wouldn't think they would bother to have these. Oh, hell yes. That's actually perfect. It's weird that they had, like, that kind of magazine, because in Dead Rising 2, I felt they definitely were they were nowhere near as good as they were in Dead Rising 1. It was all just like, oh, 10% more PP. Or, like, just very small things for you to use. It wasn't like, oh, here's 3 times durability, just right off the bat. I think that should just give me a nice waypoint back to where I want to go, so I don't have to consult this map. Let's test this theory that they should be able to take care of themselves, unless that guy keeps barfing. I'm sure they also chose this gas station so they can put these giant signs around them, and they can just... You can always know where to go. Come here, queen. Before I had heard of this demo, I didn't realize that Las Vegas was a thing. Like, I thought they were trying very hard just to make it look like it was set in Las Vegas, but not, because then they would have to do the exact, like, location, 1-to-1 on the map. But it's actually a lore that essentially they're going to burn Las Vegas to the ground to deal with the zombies once everyone's evacuated after 3 days. And then they're going to rebuild it to be Fortune City. I always thought, like, they should show a message from each survivor. Like, that just seemed like so much of a better choice. Okay, there we go. Because some of them have interesting things to say, but if they're not, like, depending on what order you bring them in, you might not hear that because someone else has a important message to say. So, like, for example, like with the tiger, I believe if you bring other people, you won't see the tiger's, like, funny little roar it does. Instead, you'll have, like, generic Survivor 1 being like, thanks. But I've always been a huge fan of the books in Dead Rising. That's another thing where I felt that they didn't do it justice. Like, I think you should be able to inspect survivors and weapons and then get some info about them, like, here's how fast you can swing it, here's how much damage it does, that kind of thing. And then you could also see, say, what kind of labels does this weapon have on it? Like, okay, it's industrial, but then it's also novelty and what have you. So you would know right off the bat, like, okay, what's going to work with these books? So what do you got? Oh, I'll take one of these. I'm curious to see if it flags as industrial or not. Might have to drop my sniper rifle, though. Doesn't. Damn it. Oh, well, I won't worry about it. If I recall, the wrench isn't that good. Doesn't have the reach that this weapon does. Which, already, this is kind of what I was talking about, where kind of just plan on using, like, these weapons. Like, this is a weapon I'm familiar with in a game I'm not. And I'm falling back in these old habits that I wish the game didn't let you do. I mean, this game probably does it better than 2 because I'm always going to be low on health and low on inventory. So I'll have to just find stuff as I go. But I don't know, I wish, like, I know personally what I wanted to see, I wish they would categorize your inventory so that you can't have too much, like, crazy amounts of food. But also, you had to use, like, different weapons. I don't know what the best way to encourage that was, because I don't like doing it just through sheer lack of inventory space, because then you'll just give up, like, food or something instead. So, I'm going to hit up the pawn shop, get that part, talk to that guy again, probably, or get a tip, and we'll go from there. I'm sure that he's going to eventually give me a tip about where I can find this dude's daughter.